next big phase will be here, starting next week. Granville Street by Jacks. This will be the next area that's going to be undertaken, although they assure us there's still going to be crossing points here. But you'll see from this map now exactly how the Condorf area is going to look. Certainly the disruption levels increase every few weeks, it appears, on the promenade.
So we're part of the Fare Free campaign. We've got three main objectives. One, the most simple, the one that everyone knows, is we want free public transport, which on the Isle of Man means free busing. Secondly, we want a more efficient busing system, so we want to reverse the sort of like disastrous cuts that we've seen in Derby and Andreas that have seen entire like swathes of the north completely disconnected from busing services. People are up in arms about that, and there's actually been no outcry from MHKs.
So the big thing here is that our world is going through so many different global and political changes, and I feel that we have to rise to the occasion, and I believe that people are beginning to assemble around a new set of values, a new set of environmental beliefs, and I think that that is going to be the very core of our political system in the future.
So we thought we'd come back onto the promenade and see how things are developing. We're down the Sunderland end, of course. This is where it got a bit controversial in the first place after that first bit of red paveway went down for the horse trams. Cracking started to appear. We've just taken a little look up a bit further, and yes, certainly there still seems to be some indication of little tiny cracks. Of course, it's summer now, they may get worse.
I think what we're trying to do is show a united front in terms of the problem. It's a major infrastructure project, but most of the really important stuff people will never see. It's actually under the tarmac. So although there's been lots of talk about the surface construction, what we're involved with is the stuff underneath that will actually make a real difference to the people who live up and down the prom.
So yeah, it's absolutely delighted to bring the training ship John Jerwood into Peel. I'm the first captain that has brought her in, so I'm first Manx captain to bring her in. So I'm quite chuffed with that. Yeah, the training ship John Jerwood is designed to house 12 sea cadets, and what they does is it gives them the opportunities to navigate, to start the ship's engines, to actually navigate. So at the helm here, we could have a 12-and-a-half-year-old.
So this is Arcana, the grain-free brand, which is dog and cat food brand, and working dogs as well. And it's very high meat content, suitable diet for dogs and cats. I mean, it's similar to what they'd eat in the wild, so really high quality food.
And you came up with this idea?
Yeah, it wasn't completely out of the blue. So I used to work for one of the leading sort of fast-moving consumer goods companies, and my first role was in pet care. So they just randomly allocated me to Manchester. I covered the northwest of the UK and also Isle of Man, so and that stuck with me, so I've ended up launching this brand. It's about 5 years old now, and eventually moving to the Isle of Man.
Well, the change now is the fact that I'm in the process now of contacting all of the 24 MHKs with regards to the MLC election, and I would very much love to inquire and to press upon the public to get involved in the election. I know that the public doesn't necessarily have the right to vote for the MHKs, but one thing that they do have the power of doing is placing pressure onto their elected MHK, their members within the House of Keys, to empower and encourage them to start looking at certain candidates and the candidates they believe should be sitting there. I mean, don't underestimate the power of the people. The people still have a controlling stake, and if any member that is currently sitting within the House of Keys would like to be elected again in 2021, then I definitely say listen to the people.
Most of the bumps in the road have been of my own making, yeah, thank goodness things are smoother now. There are still some, not everything is wonderful, but I'm hoping that the addictive part of my journey is behind me, and that if nothing else, it's taught me some really valuable lessons.
The Man Constabulary have released this dramatic video showing a car turning directly into the pathway of an oncoming tram in Laxey. Turns out it was a local man who's been dealt with in court and fined a total of £850, including court costs, having his driving licence endorsed for 7 points, having 2 illegal tyres and no vehicle licence.